how to increase your confidence for games, and that's exactly the way how you do it. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to do a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask questions about me, my personal life, growing up in Germany, some soccer advice, being a professional athlete, and yeah, we're gonna answer a couple of them in this video. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first question comes from Tyler. What made you leave Germany? That's a pretty interesting question. It's kind of a long story, but the main reason was that my mom wanted for me to get an education, and in Germany the universities don't have sport teams. So if you want to study and play professionally, you have to study for a university and play for a club. So you don't play for the university teams. I wanted to be a professional soccer player. My mom and my dad wanted for me to get an education, and it was kind of difficult to do that in Germany. So I learned about the US college system, about studying here, playing for a university, playing at a really high level, and still having the opportunity to become a professional soccer player. So I started looking more into it. I started applying to universities. I actually did it together with an organization and got quite a few offers, and in the end decided to go with USF because they appealed to me the most. Alright, the next question comes from Eric. What is the biggest difference between college and professional training / soccer? So, in my opinion, it's the speed of play, how fast the ball moves in practice or in games. The spaces are a lot tighter. You have to make decisions way quicker. And this whole game is just speeding up a lot. And you gotta adjust to that. For me, it was not that much of a difference because at our college, our coach would implement that in training sessions, that we move the ball very fast. Because the spaces are so much tighter, you have to make decisions way quicker than before, and you have less time to think. So by the time the ball arrives, you already have to make an idea up in your mind what you're going to do next. If the ball comes to you and then you start thinking what you're going to do, it's too late, and you will either lose the ball or be put so much under pressure that you will not get out of it. The next question comes from Torne Jr. What is your in-season training routine like? Weights, extra training, recovery, etc. So we are training Monday through Friday every single day, obviously on the field, and on Saturday or Sunday we have a game. Additionally, we are going to the gym twice a week, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays, that doesn't leave much room to work individually. For myself, I like to do a little bit extra training after the team training is done, so I stay out a little longer on the field, and I work on my finishing, left foot, right foot, especially right foot, because I think one of my biggest weaknesses is my right foot. So that's usually what I do on Mondays and Wednesdays after training. Just grab some balls, grab a goalkeeper, and purposefully work on my shooting. Maybe a little bit more about the weightlifting training. So on Tuesday is usually our heaviest session, where we do a little bit more weights, we do a little bit more sprints, a little bit more jumps, all of that kind of things, because we have longer time to prepare for the game. And on Thursday, the volume is usually a little bit lower than to what we did on Tuesday, just because we want to prepare for the game and we don't want to exhaust the legs too much before a game. The next question comes from Ollie. How does your training mindset differ from your game / performance mindset? And I put this question in because I think that's a very important question, and a lot of you guys also ask how to increase your confidence for games. And that's exactly the way how you do it. Your mindset should be exactly the same in training as in games, because if your mentality in practice is to go all in, go all out, and treat it as an actual game, your games actually become easier because you've been already training the same way the whole week. And for me, that's a big factor on how I get my confidence for games. Is if I know I had a good training week and I just gave it all throughout the practice week, then there's not much else I could have done to prepare for a game. And that's why it's so important that your mindset going into practice cannot be different from how it is from going into games. Alright, next question from Veda. and she asks, what is the most important aspect to learn in soccer to get to the best you can be? I think there's not particularly one thing that you can do to get to your best, and it requires a lot of small steps on the way to getting to the best you can be. And that process probably never stops, because once you reach a certain level, there's a next level you can attain. So the one thing that I learned helped me a lot improving was doing everything with a purpose, whether it's going into practice or going into games, going to do a recovery session. It doesn't matter. You always do it with a purpose. Like if I go to a recovery session, I know I need to foam roll, I need to stretch, because it helps me preparing for the next day. Or if I go into practice, I'm not going to go into practice just to kick the ball around. Rather, it's team practice or practicing on my own. If I go on my own, I know I need to work on these kind of things that make me better for the next day, right? So if I say, okay, tomorrow I'm going out on the field, I plan out what I want to do. I work on dribbling, I work on this, I work on that. And I do it with a purpose. I'm not just going out there to kick the ball around. And if you have that mindset day in and day out to do everything with a purpose, and I think that brings you a lot closer to where you want to be. And in my case, for example, I didn't do that until I was 18, 19. I know I wanted to be a professional soccer player, but I never made the necessary sacrifices. I never stayed after practice and did extra work. I didn't know my weaknesses, what I need to work on, and that wasn't just there. And once I came to the US, I kind of made an agreement with myself that I want to be the best version of myself day in and day out, and I put a purpose behind everything that I do, whether it's soccer related or just in general, in my general life. I figured that worked really well for me and helped me a lot improving over the years. The last question comes from my good friend Vinny. Shout out to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And he wants to know, what are your goals for the season? So my goals are, I definitely want to win the league this year. I think we have a brilliant team. I think we have the right mix between talented players, but also players that just work so hard on the field and that they just die for you on the field, literally. And I think that mix that everyone buys in is so important, and I feel like we have that in our team, which is why I really do believe we can win the league this year. Personally, I just go into every single game with the goal of playing to the best of my abilities. I just want to go out there, have fun, contribute as many goals and as many assists as I can to the team, because I know it helps the team win. But I don't sit there before the season and tell myself, okay, I want to have 10 goals, 15 goals, 10 assists, whatever it is, because I think that puts a lot of pressure on you if it doesn't go that way after the first couple weeks. And obviously it's good to have standards, it's good to set your standards high, but I think having that firm number can also be counterproductive. So I just want to play to the best of my abilities in every single game. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Q&A of getting to know me a little better. I definitely enjoyed sharing a little bit about my knowledge, my experience, and I hope the advice that I could give to one of you will help you and on your way of becoming maybe a professional soccer player or whatever it might be. If you like this episode, make sure you leave a like and a comment down below, because it really helps me. That's it for this video. See you guys soon.